everyone. I hope everyone's having a nice day, night, whatever time of day it is for you. And I hope everyone had a terrific day. And yeah, I hope everyone's having a nice time today. Maichi here, and today we are gonna continue playing Narcissus. That is how Google translated it to me. I checked how to pronounce it before the game, and that's how it was like, and it sounds like narcissist, and I'm like, damn. So, Narcissus, something like that. Hi Hackaday, hi Reactor, I hope both of you are having a nice day today. Yeah, I am sleepy. I mostly slept all day. I went to bed at like 3 or something, and then I slept, and then I woke up, and then I slept again. So, yeah. And then I woke up, and then I ate food. That was my entire day. Oh, I also took out the trash. Put some dishes away. Pet the cats. Did the essentials. Yay! I'm happy! That's good. I'm glad. Okay. Let's start the sadness. What voice did I give her? My time was at a standstill. I piled useless trivia upon useless trivia, drew information from the TV and the TV alone, and soon nothing was real anymore, fading away into hollow space. But I loved looking at maps. Trains, cars, I loved things that could take me places. I spread out maps on top of my narrow bed, changed routes over and over and over. Sedans, coupes, convertibles, rode on so many different kinds of cars. The number one route continuing on forever, I ran on that road forever and ever and ever. Oh. Indigo blue skies, beautiful coastlines. I ran until I came at last to these places sketched in my dreams, slowly tracing past the arc of a cape, running on the white sand of a beach, the sun to my back. But if I but closed my eyes, I could go anywhere, toward landscapes that I had never seen with my own eyes, longing for the soil upon which I could never hope to tread. My useless stockpile of trivia was the only thing that increased. All emptiness, all the colors of yearning. January 21st, 2005, the sky after the rain. Reactor, I've been time traveling to farm my pumpkins, and I have like 1,000 orange pumpkins already. At least you have 1,000 pumpkins. That's cool. I wish I had 1,000 pumpkins. Hackaday, question. Yeah, the question, when you do the PC upgrade, will the frame rate of streams and the VTuber persona improve? That is my hope, because it should. It should stream smoothly and everything. So the parts got sent out this weekend, so now I just wait for them. But I don't know if it's going to be all of the parts yet. I need to check. But so hopefully really, really soon. Hopefully soon everything will be better. Does this even lag and like do bad things? Even if it's a VN? Is it that potatoey? Oh man, I'm so sorry. Soon there will be an upgrade though, and I'm super excited. I'm excited to start playing games with everyone and actually not be a problem when playing games. Okay. The high flying clouds streaming by at knife edge speeds. The unique swishing sound of tire on wet asphalt. Oh, okay. That's good. I was just wondering. And thought it all. There we were, driving along as always. No destination, just a desire to keep going no matter what. It wasn't as if I was looking to go to Awaji Island at all. We didn't even have the gas money to get there anyway. But I drove straight ahead on unfamiliar roads even as I thought these thoughts. But where are we? I was forced to wonder. I didn't know my geography very well to begin with, and I was seeing all sorts of place names I didn't recognize. I had planned on driving unto the ends of the earth, but the GPS navigation system broke. I had no idea anymore. And before I knew it, I started looking around anxiously as the street signs as at the street signs as I drove. I don't know at all. What? Well, I don't know where we are right now. She'd said something to me, and I'd given her a casual response, because she probably wasn't going to know even if I asked her. Aruma District, Saitama Prefecture. What? The next right leads to the number 16 route toward Hachioji? You knew all this? I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. Did you happen to live around here or something? No, nothing like that at all. It was a surprise. No, it wasn't just surprising. It was nothing short of a miracle that she knew the roads to this detail. Because no matter how I looked at it, she didn't seem to have driven around all that much herself. Then could it be? Do you know the way from here to Awaji Island? I don't understand why you're asking. Well, see, we might be able to get there on normal highways without having to get on the tollways. And we might just have enough gas money to get us there. Do you want to go there? Well, no, that's not what I meant. Then don't ask me. With those words, she fell silent. And she turned to face the window with a frosty a demeanor as ever. But she wasn't looking at the passing scenery. It felt like she was staring at something in the unreachable distance. Her. Then don't ask me. Oh, it was her saying that. I couldn't tell. I'm sorry. Just what the hell was that supposed to mean? How would she have replied if I had told her that I was planning on going? We simply continued on. No purpose, no aim. It wasn't as if we had a plan or schedule from the get-go. We just didn't want to die on 7F at our oh-so-fake homes. But I, and maybe I alone, must have wanted something to show us the way, no matter what that way might be. What happened to the music? Swish, swish. It's cold. So it is. The music is gone. Wait. Configuration? What happened to it? Are GameCube games expensive? Some beach whose name I did not know. We'd reached the sea before we'd known it. I'd been planning on heading west, but somehow it looked like it ended up going south. I feel like there should be sound. Oof. Really? Do you not hear sound? Okay, I'm gonna restart, because I'm pretty sure there's... I don't think it's supposed to be silent. Ah! There we go. Sorry. I just... There's supposed to be music, isn't there? Oh. The heater turned on. It went... Stop. Why are you stuck? Load. Map. Yes. There we go. Alright. Okay, why aren't you doing it in my headphones? Give me this. Properties. Speakers. But why? Is it not coming to my headphones? It's... Oh, that's voice volume. I don't know why it's not going to my headphones. Okay. That was weird. The game was like, no. Water. Yes. There. Did it... How's that? Better? There. I think I fixed it. What do you think? Once you reach that point. Yay! Does everything sound alright? Oh, can you hear the heater? A pitch black sky and a cold windy waterfront. We both got out of the car and stared at the darkened sea. She stood apart from me as usual and stared into the distance. Hi, T. I hope you're having a nice day today. Welcome. Cool, okay. Ah! My finger touched. Not touch. Yeah. Hold up. Back. This way. Yes. Okay. She stood apart from me as usual and stared into the distance where the black sky and ocean melted into the horizon's edge. And after seemingly taking in the view of the ocean for a while, she slowly started walking toward the beach. Hey, what do you think will happen? Now, I've got no idea what you're talking about. Do you think... Thank you. I'm doing well. Water, though. Do you think I'd be able to die at peace if I just walked into the sea? Those were her words as she slowly walked into as she slowly walked into the sands. Her back turned to me. The third time was the end. There was no fourth time. The choice was between dying on 7F and dying at home. Apparently no one had escaped this choice. Those were the words that she herself had spoken to me. And yet on her second time around, she told me that she didn't want to die on 7F or at home. This was after she'd explained the rules to me, after her duty to me was already over. That's why I felt that this is what she meant. I don't know. I've never drowned before. Then, if I walked into the sea right now, would you stop me? She turned her head to look at me as she said this, with the moon rising in the dark heavens as her backdrop, and her gaze, which had always been so far away, was directed straight at me. I don't know. I'd have to see when the time came. I guess so. She then turned her back to me and slowly started walking toward the sea once more. Hey, tell me. What is it? Do you want to be stopped? Upon hearing my words, she stopped short of the waves. A strong wind kicked up a spray that beat against her feet. Yeah, I don't know what I would do. Whoops, sorry. Not really, that's not it at all. Then it'll be fine if I don't stop you, right? There was no reply to my question, but her feet did not move any further either. So that was her answer then and there. I don't know what I would do. You'd probably just draw your OCs. I don't know what I would do if I had like one day to live. I mean, if I had one day to live, and I knew that I only had one day to live, I don't know. I think I would try and live it. Live it the best I could, I guess. So, yeah. And then pass on, I guess. Whoops, sorry. Blue and clear almost to the point of morning. Strong north winds beating against the electric wires overhead. The silver coupe reflecting the blue sky on its shining frame, with me at its wheel and with her in the passenger seat as per usual. didn't know where this was. But the real problem was that we were going to run out of gas soon. We didn't have that much money to begin with, and after various convenience store purchases we had even less. Only about 7,000 yen left. Of course I had no idea how many liters this car took, but we probably had enough money to fill the tank once. We still didn't really have a destination or anything, but if we didn't fill it up, we could not go anywhere anymore. I'm going to fill up on gas. I see. And with that, I turned the steering wheel and drove into a gas station that was coming into view. Welcome! Will you be paying by credit or cash? Cash, please. Regular or premium? Regular? Premium? I had no idea. Well, then again, I had no idea about anything in this car. And on top of that, it had been a long time since those driver's license classes. Which one would you like? Well, there I was at a loss for words, and there stood the gas station attendant waiting for me. And then, just as I was about to answer at random, because I didn't care which one of the two it was, she spoke from the passenger seat. Regular, please. Huh? Oh, okay, regular then. Okay then, regular, full tank, paying with... Okay then, regular, full tank, paying with cash. Yeah, that'll be all. Okay, then thank you very much. You're welcome. Water. The attendant skillfully began his operation with those cheerful words. The strangely disagreeable smell of gasoline wafted in from the window that I'd opened roughly 10 centimeters. Hey, are you sure that this thing takes regular? She said nothing at all to this and just pointed at the prices list. Oh, so that was it. It was cheaper this way. I didn't understand it very well, but I didn't think there was that much difference in price. And then I saw the gasoline meter and the number of liters being displayed. 25, 26, 27, 28. The numbers were going by at incredible speed. Maybe I'd make a mistake. I began to get a little worried as I watched those numbers climb. I told him to fill the tank a while back, but I didn't have that much money on hand. Even with the coins, I only had about 7,000 yen, and of course I had no idea how many liters this tank took. What was I going to do if I hadn't have enough money? I did some quick calculations and realized that after 60 liters, I wouldn't have enough. 38, 39, 40, 41. The numbers kept climbing without slackening pace at all, and I became more and more worried over something I usually didn't give a second thought to. Damn, how many liters does this thing take? I let the words out before I knew it. Don't worry, it'll be over soon. Huh? This has a 50-liter tank, see? And just as she'd said, the gasoline meter stopped between 47 and 48. The sound of a receipt being printed out, and then the attendant at my window again. Thank you for waiting. The total comes to 5,240 yen. Oh, okay. Here. I took out a 5,000 yen note and a crumpled 1,000 yen note from my pocket and handed them to the attendant. All right, then your change comes to 760 yen. Here's your receipt. Thank you for your business. I turned straight onto the road upon hearing the attendant's cheerful voice. The silver coupe, now in motion once more. On the bright side, I was no longer worried about running out of gas. On the not-so-bright side, we only had about 2,000 yen left. Oof. This worried me, but there was something that preoccupied me much more. Hi, Ludwin. I hope you're having a nice day today. Hey, question. Could it be that you're an expert on cars, too? Not really. What do you mean, not really? You knew that this car took 50 liters of gas, didn't you? Of course, it may have well been that this kind of thing was absolutely common knowledge that I just didn't have, but she'd proven that she was an expert on these roads not so long ago. Having been caught by surprise twice now, I took out the vehicle specification from the glove compartment. And of course you know the make and model of this car as well, don't you? Is that a question? You can think of this as a quiz if you want. Integra Type R Coupe. Correct. And the specs? 99 model year, 5-speed, max 200 HP. I had no expectation that she'd actually answer. I almost involuntarily followed along on the vehicle spec sheet as she rattled off figures with total disinterest. She is a car expert. They're both girls together, going along on their trip. Length 4,380, width 1,695, engine displacement 1,797 cc. Do you want me to go on? No, it's alright, you're correct. I put the vehicle spec sheet back in its place. I couldn't believe my ears, but she nailed every single specification. I didn't think one could just memorize these things, and I couldn't even venture a guess as to why she had. But right before my eyes, she had gotten every single spec correct. And thinking back to the roads and flowers, I was getting the impression that she knew a lot about a lot. A lot about a lot. I think I misread that. I'm sorry. Hey, just why do you know so much about everything? It's nothing. It's nothing. It's nothing. It's just that I'm older than you. And with that bare response, she went back to her usual silence. With her staring out the window again, I didn't find myself able to throw any more questions at her. Older. It really didn't look that way at all, but this was something she'd said before too. Her name was Tatsumi, her blood type was O. Those were written on her white ID bracelet. There was very little indication to show me that she was older than me at all. Around when the sun started peeking out from under the clouds, the silver coupe speeding along. No destination, no place to go, just running forward. No more worries about gasoline, but no more money either. Only about 2,000 yen left. Only enough for 3-4 more days at most of convenience food. Alright, so now what do you want to do? I have no idea what you mean by that. I mean, that we have no more money left. And so? Look, you. Her appearance as unchanging as ever, and this conversation we were having while eating rice balls bought at a convenience store not long ago. Finally, the fact that even if we were driving along like this, we were using up gasoline little by little. Maybe it might have been better to just stay still without doing anything at all. But it was impossible for me to stay still without doing anything, without shooting for anything, and I kept driving with those feelings at heart. If we just kept driving on normal highways, we'd run out of gas in about 3 days. Likewise, we only had enough for 3-4 days worth of food with the 2,000 yen we had left. We were obviously going to become too poor to do anything soon enough. Hey, do you want to try going to the Sawaji Island? No reply. She just kept staring out the window as per usual. I think I might want to. Why? Well, it wasn't as if we'd escaped from 7F with any goal or destination in mind, because east or west, no matter where, anything was fine with me. But maybe that's why I wanted a goal and a destination, because anything was fine with me. Around when the daylight had given over to the darkness of night, I had stopped the car in the parking lot of a pachinko parlor. Pachinko! I like pachinko. Obviously, I wasn't planning on winning any money through pachinko or slots. I knew that there wasn't much I could do on just 2,000 yen alone. But if I were skillful enough, I just might be able to swipe 10,000 or 20,000 yen. That was my guess, based on the many times I'd been to pachinko parlors in the past. If I only had that much, we'd be okay in the first place, and we might even be able to get to Awaji Island on that amount. And so I told her about the plan that I had just thought up. How about it? Want to try it out? No. Okay, very well. I'd expected it, but she'd shot me down immediately. I hadn't hoped that she'd cooperate with me in the first place, and I told her about my plan as a fait accompli, not because I wanted her aid in it. Alright, then wait here. I got out of the car and strode into the pachinko parlor alone. It was more crowded than I thought. Lots of pachinko balls, lots of people, and more importantly, cash boxes crowded everywhere. As good a place as any. And thinking this, I headed over to the slots machine. I inspected them from the corridor for a while, and after having finished my survey, I focused on one set of the machines. Lots of middle-aged salarymen, all right, up to 4 boxes at their feet and up to 2 on the racks above them, and an empty stand separating each of them. From what I'd seen before, these men hadn't come with acquaintances or friends. Breathing! This satisfied the requirements. Perhaps in a place like this, no one would notice if I swiped one of those cash boxes, and in a store like this, each one probably held 20,000 yen or so. And with just that much, I just kept waiting for one of the salarymen to go to the bathroom. Go to the bathroom, men. Go to the bathroom. After a little while, after roughly 30 minutes had passed, a salaryman finally stood up from his seat, and I tailed him a bit to make sure he was going to the bathroom. I dashed back to the stand that he'd occupied, and watching the people who were hitting the slots and at the attendants, I slowly approached that stand. Then, so as not to raise any suspicion, as if it were just the most natural thing in the world, I swiped one of those cash boxes underfoot. That moment, coins scattered everywhere with a thunderous noise. I'd been meaning to pick it up. No, I really had picked it up, with my very own hands. But they were unable to bear that weight, and the cash box crashed onto the floor. Everyone turned in my direction to see what the commotion was all about. I got the feeling that someone was shouting. I got the feeling that someone was running toward me. But that was all behind me. I had already bolted and was less than 2 meters away from the entrance of the establishment by then. I put the engine in ignition in a hurry and floored the pedal, and when I spun the wheel to make the hasty getaway, just then... Eek! Tch! I'd run against the curb or something as I turned to make my getaway, thus the horrible crunching sound, but I accelerated onto the road before me without giving it a second thought. My suddenly constricting out-of-breath chest in the silver coupe speeding out of the daylight and into darkness. I was concerned about the crash a little while ago, but I had to distance myself from that place now. And soon, after 10 minutes of this, a fair distance away from that pachinko parlor, I stopped at some roadside and started to get out to inspect the damage. Are things okay? Yeah, it doesn't look too serious. It doesn't look too serious. She sounded slightly worried as she called out to me. I answered her as I inspected the damage. There was just a bump in the rear fender and a small crack in the muffler. Didn't look as if there would be any problem driving like this. Sigh. I let out a sigh, somewhat relieved. That sucked. I thought back at what had just happened at the pachinko parlor. I slipped up there, but had I been a little more skillful, I might have pulled it off. And the reason I wasn't able to hold on to that cash box was because it had been a while since I'd lifted something heavy. And if I'd held onto it with all my strength at the outset, I might have been able to make it. So you miscalculated. Huh? The current you can't do what the former you could have. She spoke as if she'd seen straight through me, but that kind of weight, so it's best not to think of it that same way. Perhaps she was right. I didn't want to admit how changed I was. Fair enough. I hadn't anticipated at all that I could grow this week. Then, what should I do? No answer. Eyes turned in silence toward the window to stare into the dark night sky. This was probably the way she was telling me to give up. Chapter 4, The Emerald Sea. Water. Oh. What do you think so far? I like it. I like it so far. I hope all of you like it so far. We're going to the Emerald Sea. Go, go, go. Go, go, go. My time at a standstill, my heart at a standstill. Days of useless trivia upon useless trivia. Days spent gazing at a map, closing my eyes, traveling through unfamiliar roads. One day, the usual monthly magazines, a photograph on a front cover drew to my eyes. A female model in a showy swimsuit. Provocative poses on a sandy beach. A smile captured right before the Emerald Sea that I had always dreamed about. She was probably my age, smiling at me happily, cheerfully, with her outstanding figure. It wasn't as if I was jealous or anything. I didn't own any swimsuits to begin with, and I didn't come close to having any need for them. My pajamas were quite enough for me. I'd spent so many seasons, so many white overcast skies, without the want or need to converse with anybody. I remembered that day, June of the first year of middle school, the day of my first hospitalization. I remembered having ordered a swimsuit. I remembered having done so several years ago now. That day, I remembered that swimsuit that had lost its opportunity to be used. I took that school swimsuit. Now is the day, new as the day I bought it out of the drawer where it had patiently waited for years. I took off my usual pajamas and timidly put on that navy blue swimsuit. I was shocked. It had already been years, and yet it fit me as if it had been made for me that very day, and that swimsuit model was smiling at me warmly, smiling at me from the mist of the Emerald Sea, smiling at me warmly and happily with the beautiful womanly figure. It was saddening. Hiccup, I'm sorry. It wasn't as if I was jealous, no. The truth was that I was probably yearning for it impossibly, stubbornly, because I knew that it was absolutely impossible. But the huge scars on my chest were telling me to just give up. My lifelong companions, my scars, were telling me to go back to my world of closed eyes. Maichi's already closing her eyes. Sorry. Around the time when the sun slowly arced down and dyed the western horizon orange, we were on the road as usual. What should we do now? We really had no more money left to spare. Hey, as I thought upon these things, she caught me by surprise by calling out to me. Are you allowed to soak in baths? Yeah, they said that I could go ahead unless it was a long, protracted bath. I see. I'm about the same way. Was she meant by allowed, and what I meant by they was that the doctors didn't caution us against it? There had been many who had been forbidden to do so due to kidney or digestive tract issues, and now that I thought about it, her problem was probably in her circulatory system, just like me. Well, do you want to take a bath? Well, do you want to take a bath? Oh, thank you. Thank you. I like reading aloud. I don't know. It's something that I enjoy. I'm glad that you think I'm good at it, Hakaday. Thank you. Hi, Jerome. No, they're on the road because they're enjoying what little time they have of their life, because they don't want to die at home or in the hospital room in 7F. So the main character stole the car and took her friend and drove. So yeah, is that bad? And now they're talking about wanting to take a bath. Together? Maybe. I don't know yet. No, I kind of wanted to as well. Even so, we didn't have enough money to stay at a hotel or an inn. Then do you want to stop by a public bathhouse? Bathhouse? Yeah, we've got the money for that, at least. No, it's fine. What do you mean, fine? It had already been 3 days since we'd escaped from 7F. We were allowed to bathe twice a week there, and had sponge baths twice a day as well. Then again, we weren't getting very sweaty given the season, and since we were in a car, we weren't getting dirty. Could it be that it's embarrassing for you to be in a public bathhouse? Bathhouse? Not really. Nothing like that at all. Around the time when the sun had completely disappeared and the moon waxed large in the night sky, from some distance away, I'd found something that looked like a school. This would have to do... Water. My headphone fell off. I'm sorry. I stopped the car before the gates. And then I rummaged in the back seat through the clump of clothing there. If I remembered correctly, there were 2-3 towels in this heap. And then, after Sifting through a bunch of clothes, I found a hand towel after all. It had the legend Shirashi Construction written on it. I hope I pronounced that right. I'm sorry if I did not. Probably one of those appreciation gifts they gave out like candy. Alright, then wait a bit. Taking 2 towels with me, I headed toward the school. I climbed over the closed gates and looked around anxiously for my target. Ah, there it is. I'd found a water faucet station, probably for gardening use. I turned the knob and cold water poured out of the faucet, water cold enough to freeze me stiff. I wet the 2 towels and squeezed them out. Sorry for the wait. Here. I handed over one of the 2 towels to her, and then I took off my sweater and started washing myself. The cold, wet towel felt pretty good against the warm heating of the car. Hey, you go ahead and clean yourself too. It feels nice and cold, too. Okay. She was a little reluctant at first, but then she slowly started undoing her buttons. The shirt and jeans that were all too big on her. Unlike me, she simply washed herself by retracting her hands into the shirt. Say, what is it? Don't look. Oh, sorry, that's right, she murmured, with the wet towel in her hand, her clothes half on, half off. It was the first time I'd seen her look like that, a little annoyed, a little embarrassed. Inside the car, our backs turned to each other. Hey, feels pretty good, eh? Yeah. Inside the car, shrouded in the dark of night. Because they have no money to stay anywhere, and I think they're still on the run because they stole the main character's dad's coupe. So I don't know what they can do, and they only have 2,000 yen, I think, still? I don't think they spent that yet. Drying myself off, reflected in the glass of the windows, which also reflected her with her back toward me, drying herself off just as I was. Is this a lesbian moment? She'd taken off her shirt just as I had. I don't know what's going on. I didn't mean to look, but I could see big scars on her chest. Probably post-surgical. Didn't know what for, but they were much larger than mine. Hey. Huh? Oh, what is it? Is it that strange? Her back turned to me, speaking to me, reflected in the window. January 25th, 2005, I ran out of water. Time for the second glass. The silver coupe in motion underneath cloudy skies. Driving around without a destination, as per usual, it was already 3 days later, and nothing had really changed in that time. Along the way, we found a free public open-air bath, and since it seemed devoid of people, we were able to take a bath after all. Other than that, we were out of money, and we were running out of gas again, too. Oh, I don't think there was a 2. Whoops. Are you getting tired? Not really. We exchanged these words while eating convenient store-bought rice balls. Man, a rice ball sounds delicious right now. They might have been tastier than anything up at 7F, but they were becoming pretty boring by now. But we didn't have enough money to have anything but this kind of meal. It's noisy. Huh? What is this all of a sudden? The car's sounding louder than before. Oh yeah, fair enough. This was probably because I cracked the muffler when I was escaping from the pachinko parlor. I hadn't really noticed it, but sure enough, the car was sounding louder. Not a real impediment to driving. But the bigger problem was the gas. I'd already been driving for 5 minutes since the meter had bottomed out at empty. And I only had 900 yen left. Unlike last time, this was obviously not enough. And if the car stopped due to the lack of gas, we'd be able to do nothing anymore. Having decided, I looked for a gas station and one that was half service. Having found one, I stopped the car next to the nearest pump. I'm going to get some gas. I see. But don't get out of the car. No answer, but she probably knew what I meant by that. I opened the cap to the gas tank and snaked in a gas hose. Only one other car in the station and the little building with an attendant within, probably there to get payment and give back change. According to the notice on the wall, you were supposed to take the receipt to him when done, We could probably make our gateway right now if we... I couldn't read the last word because I was too fast. I'm sorry. Is what I felt as I looked around the quiet gas station. 23, 24, 25, 26. The numbers went by on the meter, too slowly it seemed, unlike last time. I kept wondering uneasily if it wouldn't fill up a little bit faster, and then after the meter hit 40, right before the tank was full... Welcome! For some reason, the attendant who had been in the building up until now came rushing towards us. Sir, are your tire pressure and ashtrays okay? Huh? Oh, yes, they are. I see. Well, it's cold out, so please be careful. He even started cleaning the windows as if trying to take good care of us. While he did so, the pump detected that the tank was full and with a business-like sound spit out a receipt. Oh, please go over there to pay. Hi, Cody. I hope you're having a nice day today. He stopped wiping the windows for a second and pointed at the building. I held the receipt in my hand in silence and stood completely still, wondering what I should do. Is something the matter, sir? Oh, no, it's nothing. For now, I got back into the car, and then I just turned the engine into ignition. Has this been a boy all along? Or is... I thought it was a girl. I'm really confused. Are you confused? What should I do now? The attendant... Whatever. The attendant was washing the rear window by now. So if I floored the accelerator now, then he'd be able to read the license plate number right away, and we'd get arrested just like that. But we had to escape now. Having decided, I floored the clutch. And then, just as I was about to shift from neutral into first gear... Here you go. Huh? Go ahead and use it. She abruptly produced an envelope and then took a 10,000 yen note out and gave it to me. You have money on you? Oh, it was her, not someone else. Okay, cool. Sorry, I gave you the wrong voice. I never have thought that she had any. No, Jerome, that's not the type of visual novel. There's no murder. This is about two... I don't know if this is a girl or a boy anymore. People, wanting to enjoy their life and not wanting to die in the hospital or at home because they have a terminal illness that they can't cure. And so they get to put in 7F where they can just get death because there's no cure. And the fourth time is the last time most of the time. That's what the girl said. Satsumi said, yeah. Okay. I'm sorry I'm bad at explanations. I did my best. I hope that was understandable. I never thought that she had any, and because of that, we'd had so many hardships up until now. Why didn't you tell me? Did you ask? Huh? Oh, no, well... Because you didn't ask. And with that, she turned back to silence to the window. The silver coupe in motion once more. The tank was full again, and we had a 5,000 yen note as change. But what had just happened was weighing heavily on my mind. Hey, you know... Here, this is all of it. Huh? Before I could get any further, she presented the envelope to me. Can I use this? Doesn't really matter. I looked into the envelope and there were 4 10,000 yen notes inside. This would be enough. But now, there was something entirely different on my mind. Yes, it's like Pun Pun. Sad like Pun Pun. Why did she have this much money on her? The couple thousand yen that I'd brought with me were just whatever I'd had on hand at the time. But in her case, it was as if she'd prepared this all in advance. Hey, you know, you said you didn't want to die on 7F, right? And not at home either. Yeah, same here. Then where exactly do you want to go? Didn't you prepare this money for just that purpose? And then I remember what she told me earlier. that she was going to go somewhere while she still could. And she asked me, "Do you want to stop me or come with me?" So in truth, is there somewhere you want to go? Not really. Hold on. Is the main character... I don't know. I'm confused. $21. That doesn't give me an answer. Hold on. Cause, okay. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Okay, I don't... Oh my goodness, no. That's not correct. I just want to know. The female main character from... Okay, female main character. Unless it's talking about the other one. Okay. Plot. Okay, what about... That's Satsumi. I just want to know... I'm really confused. No. Okay. So... I guess there's nothing, okay. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I can't find it. And I don't want to take up the time to look. Yes. It does sound like that. The music is the kind of music that you'll hear when a character's about to die, and it's been playing the whole game. Yeah. That's not much of an answer. There isn't anywhere. That was all she murmured, desolately, sadly. If that was the case, had she been preparing for a trip all by herself without having a destination in mind this entire time? It did make me wonder who would do such a lonely thing, but as I gazed at her lonely-looking profile, I found my answer. She would. Then how about you? Me? Not really, Don't imitate me. I'm not imitating you. We kept driving along without a destination. One had escaped from 7F without a second thought. The other had made futile preparations without a destination. But right now, anywhere is fine with me, but I want to go somewhere. What? At least for me, I wanted a path to follow. I was fine with anything as long as it was a path. Hey, how about that Awaji Island you were talking about? We can get there with the money we have. Really, anywhere would have been fine as long as it wasn't 7F or home. As long as we could get there. But we couldn't just wander around aimlessly. I wanted to head toward a destination, no matter what that destination was. What about you? Want to try going there? Not really. With that, she turned back to the window in her usual silent fashion. Those same eyes, the same as ever, looking somewhere into the distance. Just what could she be looking at? Just what was she hoping for when she came with me? Where did she pull out the money? Route number 1. I love looking at maps. The number 1 route, continuing on forever, places unknown, and I loved cars because they could take me anywhere. But no matter how much useless trivia I gained, I think this was meant to be a boy. You are now a girl. It was all in my imagination, relentlessly chipping away at reality and at my heart. I had a swimsuit, I had maps, but I had no future. There was a world outside my window, but it was nothing that I could touch. But if I closed my eyes, I could go to a world without anything in it, but it wasn't as if the real world would disappear for me. I knew all of this. My lifelong companion scars were telling me to get used to this world of closed eyes, and yet I was still filled with what-ifs and dreamed of wild possibilities, but eventually, the yearning never progressed past yearning. The bikini swimsuit, the emerald sea, my huge scars told me that I should give up on them already. But you are a girl, right? Or I don't fucking know. You're somebody. You're fine. You are a person. This person is a person and they're amazing. I spent most of my life in the hospital amidst a world of closed eyes. It was so sad to only be able to choose between 7F and home. No other options given. However, it was sadder still that I couldn't think of any other places anyway. But I've lived on for 22 years like this. So let me do as I please, just this once. When I murmured those words, I felt time, which should have been standing still, began to move again. That day, my heart, which should have been standing still, was in torment. January 26th, number 1 route, Hiratsuka. What's this route? The silver coupe, whose hood reflected the clear blue skies of winter, wandering around as aimlessly as ever, but at least no more worries about gas or food. Soon enough, we came across a large intersection. I hadn't obtained her approval last night, but I was still heading west regardless. The only problems were that I didn't know the roads at all, and it would be tough on our budget to take the tollways. Those were my thoughts as we drew near the large intersection. I was about to continue heading straight without a single thought when... Left turn there, here. Huh? Turn left. An abrupt request. Even as I wondered what was up, I turned left as she had requested onto a very wide road. What was that about? This is number 1 route. Go straight for now. For now? I was surprised by her sudden direction giving. We'd been together up until now, and she seemed to know just about everything, but this was the first time that she'd voluntarily given me directions. Could it be that you've decided you want to go after all? Well, you know, to the place we talked about, to Awaji Island? Is that bad? No, that's not what I meant at all. We were driving along without any purpose. I was floundering in search of some destination, and always enigmatic, she was ever looking into the distance. So the words that had just come out of her mouth took me completely by surprise. It's not that I have any expectations. What? It's not like I want a swimsuit or anything. Just what do you think you're saying? Nothing at all. What? 22! Nagoya. The silver coupe shimmered with sunlight underneath the clear winter sky. We'd passed through the steep slopes and sharp curves of Hakone, and now we're in a much more relatively flat area. She wanted to go to Awaji Island. Hey, around where are we anyway? Aichi Prefecture will be entering Nagoya City pretty soon. We were driving through the normal highways because we were on too limited a budget to use the tollways. I could never have done this alone, but thanks to her we were making good progress. Her instructions, more accurate than any navigation system. I didn't know why I felt this way, but I could tell that we were on the right track. The next intersection, turn onto number 22 route. Got it. I turned the steering wheel and changed lanes as I had been told to do. The scenery streaming past the window, the sights and sounds of a city that I'd never seen before spreading to the north, and around the time when the wide open spaces around us had transitioned into urban neighborhoods. Hey, want to stop by there? Some family restaurant at the roadside of the highway. I pointed to it as I drove and I kept talking. After all we've had is convenience store food all the way up until now, right? Of course it wasn't as if we'd been subsisting on convenience store food because we liked it. There was the fact that we had no money, and there was also the fact that we were on edge. But now we had a little money to spare, that's why I suggested it. After all, a family restaurant can be a nice change of pace, eh? Convenience store food is fine for me. She looked down a little as she said this, as if she were staring at her clothes or something. Oh, fair enough. Speaking of which, those clothes were way too big on her. Alright, then next up, how about stopping by that place? What do you mean by that? Look, over on your side, that jean shop over there. And there stood a jeans and casual wear wholesale chain store that I'd seen in other locations on the normal highways. That kind of store isn't likely to be that expensive either. We're stopping in, all right? I'm stopping now. No reply, but no resistance either. It might well have been that it would be better for me to think of her non-replies as answers to the affirmative or something. We went into the store. She peered curiously around the 2 huge floors of the place, looking into every single corner there was. She was as without words as she always had been, and she may not have looked much different from her usual. But this was a little different from the way she was when she was watching that boring TV that reflected nothing. She examined item after item of clothing and seemed to be considering the prices. And then, whenever she tried on a new outfit, she'd come running up to me and, "What do you think?" What do I think? I think that it looks pretty good on you. It isn't weird. No, I don't think so. And in this fashion, she tried on outfit after outfit, coming to show it off to me every single time. She did not once smile or let any facial expression out, but it seemed to me that she was somehow happy about this. All right, have you decided? Yeah, I'm going with these. Saying this, she showed me her final outfit, a pretty shirt and a short skirt. What she selected did make her look like a middle or high school student, but she seemed to be pleased enough. Now, if memory served, she told me in the past that she was older than me, but no matter how I looked, that just didn't seem true. Such the opposite, in fact, that I couldn't help but smile. But you know, maybe I would be better if that skirt were a bit longer. What? Oh, no. I'm not saying it doesn't look good on you at all. See, it's cold, you know, and in that kind of outfit, I'll be fine. I'll bear with it. When she spoke these words, I saw a little bit of pink rise to her pale face. For a girl who always kept herself absolutely emotionless, could it be that she was blushing? The first expression of emotion that I'd ever seen from her. Back on the road again. The somewhat noisy silver coupe speeding along underneath the high, high heavens of winter. Oh, could it be because she was wearing male's clothes and like, maybe that's why I got confused, because I forgot they weren't, okay. Is that what went on? It might have been. Get on. Number 21 route next. Got it. Wrong voices. Water, though. She was acting as the navigator as usual. In no time at all, we had entered Gifu Prefecture. But if this were as usual, she'd only be looking out the window at nothing. But now, she was checking herself in the side view mirror over and over, as if well pleased. Checking herself in that mirror as if she didn't want me to catch her doing it. What is it? Well, it looks like you're pretty happy with those clothes, that's all. Not really. It's nothing like that. With that... Yeah, they are. With that... She stopped looking at the side view mirror. But after a little while, she started checking herself again as I watched. So there were awfully cute things about her as well. And even if it was something as small as this, as normal could be, I found it very cute. They are very much gay. Very good. Around when the sun had darkened into night, some roadside somewhere, around when we'd finished our dinner, convenience store again. I wonder what happened since we left. The white vinyl ID bracelet hanging loosely around my wrist. I murmured those words as I looked at the inscriptions, my blood type and name, and then the name of the hospital. Do you think they're in an uproar? Probably. They are super gay. They are super duper gay. Yeah. Parents, friends, and the doctors. And even if it were only a paper-thin display on their part, I was still a little sorry to think that they might be worried. My bad, Father, everyone. I did something selfish without consulting anyone. Say, what is it? When you first learned that you were going to die, did you cry? I was instantly shocked by her sudden question. Did you cry? Oh, that was her question to her. Okay. I was instantly shocked by her sudden question, and then I was silent as I pondered upon it some. Come to think of it, I don't think I cried. Then, did you curse fate, asking, why me? I don't remember doing that either. At first, I couldn't believe that it was actually happening, as if it were part of reality at all. But maybe, just maybe, I did feel something. A little. One of my buddies from the Technical Institute bought a new car, and he was complaining about how he had to take out huge loans. Some got their first jobs, others were still in school, some had children, others got dumped by their girlfriends. But I had no future, so in truth, I think I did wonder why it had to be me. Even if I told myself that this was fate, I think I did feel as if I couldn't accept that. Then, how about you? Is that low or high? I don't know the pricings for those things. I'm sorry. Me? Yeah, did you cry? Or curse fate? Oof. Yeah, but it's important to keep money in your bank account. I think. That's what people tell me. And I'm not arguing with it. Oh, okay. Then, wow. I'm sorry. I was fine. And why? Because I never hoped for anything from the very beginning. Because I had given up. Is that so? What are you, Romeo? No way to despair if you've given up from the beginning. Not fun to turn your back that way, but not difficult either. But I couldn't help but feeling that it was just too sorrowful that way. Or could it have been that in her case? There was no other possible course of action? I saw in a movie some time ago that wolves don't live more than 3 years. Huh? Wolves? She abruptly changed the topic on me, but donkeys live for 9 years or more. Why was that? Why 3 years for wolves and 9 years for donkeys? Donkeys live on because they are useful. That's apparently the way it is. She murmured these words as she looked out the window impassively. Yay! That's good. So was this the thing that she told herself? To resign herself, to abandon herself to her fate? The midwinter sky at sunset, our progress straight through number 21 route. The flickering white specks dancing in the twilight sky. It was starting to snow, and snow hard. Is something the matter? Yeah, it's snowing. And sure enough, it looked like there was snow covering the roadsides. I had no idea when we'd entered a region of heavy snow, but as far as the eye could see, everything was draped in white. Yeah, I think so. I can find one. I'll find a different visual novel. Would another horror visual novel be okay? I like those. I like those too, but I also like silly ones too. I'll figure something out. This was somewhat concerning. As far as I could tell, these tires weren't of the studless variety. If we ran into any snow heavier than this, it was likely that we were going to be in trouble. Yeah, water though. You're not wrong, Jerome. Hey, does it snow here a lot? Huh? See? See, if it snows much more than this, it'll be tough. There wasn't any snow on the road right now, but it would be no surprise to encounter frozen road segments from here on out. And given that, it could very well become necessary to equip tire chains, something that hadn't gone over in training. So, do you know? After this, Sekigahara. Well, yeah, you told me that earlier, but what I want to know is if it snows a lot here. I don't know, she answered, somehow desolate. And it made me feel that there was something incongruous here. For someone who knew the roads this well, who knew just about everything about this car, something like that should have been child's play. Very well, I'll just drive carefully. Okay. Sonochi no Kyoku. What's that? What is that, Hakude? A beach. We had gotten off the car and we were looking at a lake. A chilly wind kicked up, scattering a powdered snow across the lake's frozen surface. And in its mist, she slowly began walking toward that beach, as if it were the ocean itself. This was a spectacle I had seen before. So what do you think? Are you asking me whether I think you would die without much pain if you walked in? Oh, that was... damn it. Yeah, I get the feeling that it might be easier here than in the ocean. I have no idea what your basis for that is. Well, seawater is salty and your body floats more easily. Quite a deductive ability you have there. Oh, okay. Under the cold north wind and the falling snow, we argued jokingly, seriously, who knew, about our one end point. And after a while, she began walking toward the lake once more. So you aren't going to stop me after all? You don't have any intention to die today, do you now? No, I guess not. How much farther was it until this Awaji island of which we'd spoken? It wasn't as if I particularly wanted to go there, but I didn't have any problem with going there either. But though we'd wandered without a purpose up until now, the seeds of a final destination were being born in us. The girl who had halted her progress toward the waters even without my having to stop her. Most likely, that was the way it was for her too. January 27th. Back on the road. Vroom, vroom, vroom. Get back on number 1 from here. Got it. From number 8 back to number 1. Under the guidance of her navigation, we were now heading toward Kusatsu. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Are we still okay on money? Yeah, we still have 30,000 yen or so. After we'd hit that clothing store, we'd only spent money on convenience store food. Why, what's up? Then do you want to get on the tollway? The tollway? Why can't we get there through the normal highways? Well, yes, we certainly can up until the very end. But for the final stretch, we have to get on the tollway for a while. No, I think it's me. It might be me. I see. So that's how you get to Awaji Island. I didn't know it that well, but apparently in order to get there, we'd have to cross some bridge called Seto or something. Then get on the bypass from Kusatsu. Got it. Under her direction, I went from the Seta interchange to the Meishin Expressway. I'm sorry, I pronounced that wrong. I don't know how to pronounce it. Compared to all the roads we'd been on so far, it was obvious that this was what a real expressway was. No traffic lights, a beautiful perspective, seemed pretty simple to even a beginner like me. But as I got to the rightmost lane, I could hear a traffic sound right behind me. At first, I had no concept of a passing lane or anything, but as I got used to it, the expressway was almost fun. That's a pretty incredible car. Some car was passing us by at a terrific speed, and without thinking, the two of us exchanged glances. And sure enough, from her passenger seat, she was looking somewhat different from usual. While usually she'd be staring out the window into the distance, today she was looking around at other cars with great interest. Speaking of which, she knew a lot about cars for some reason or another, didn't she? I pointed at the car that had just blown past us. Hey, what kind of car is that? A quiz to pass the time, see? Toyota Celica GTS. I hope I didn't pronounce that right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, car people. And the one we just overtook? Citroën Xterra. Wow, you know a lot. To tell the truth, I didn't know whether she was right or not, but it was really pleasant to hear words coming from her usual silent lips, so I kept plying her with questions. The blue one is a Mazda Unos, and the red is an Alfa Romeo. She even told me about the two cars that were just passing us now, but I'm willing to bet you don't know what that is. I pointed to a truck, not a car, as I spoke. I wanted to see a little perplexity seep into that expressionless face of hers. So you don't know trucks that well, then? Nissan Atlas 10. Wow! Oh wow! You're incredible! Why did I give her that voice? What the fuck just happened? I've been planning on teasing her, but instead she gone straight over my head. Isn't that level of knowledge something to be proud about? Really? Yeah, I think you could toot your own horn about it. She had no words in response. It felt like she was blushing a little bit. So she loved cars after all. Aw, she loves cars! Then, when we get there, want to try driving? What? But I don't have a license. It'll be fine! Driving along the beach will be fun, don't you think? If we went all the way to Awaji Island, then there would be lots of places without any people. And this car had a stick shift, so I thought she might have fun driving it. If you want, I'll teach you. Although, to be honest, I'm a complete beginner myself. Okay. Oh! Kissing is just two people putting their faces together while it's true! It's technically kind of true, though. Echo. But it is time to save. Okay. And it's time to save, and now it's time to go. I hope everyone had a nice time today. I hope everyone had a nice time watching. It was fun doing this. I'll look for different visual novels to read as well, so it's shark. So it's not just the sad one. But I'll look into stuff because I like visual novels. I also like reading. This reading. So I hope you guys don't mind if I read. If you want to join me, I'm here to read for you. Yeah, the story's kind of sad. I'll look into different ones. Thank you all for joining me, and if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, and if you want to see more or want to continue on, and you're not subscribed, please subscribe, and that would help me a lot. Thank you so much, and I hope everyone's having a nice night, day, evening, whatever time of day, and good night! Good night, everyone!